You know what's absolutely infuriating? WWE just made a decision so backwards, so completely tone-deaf, that it's got the entire wrestling community questioning whether anyone in Stamford has a single functioning brain cell left. And before you click away thinking this is just another rant, stick around because what I'm about to reveal involves your favorite superstars getting screwed over, a legend possibly being erased from history, and backstage chaos that makes the Monday Night Wars look like a children's birthday party. This isn't speculation. This isn't rumor. This is WWE shooting themselves in the foot while we all watch in horror. Let's start with the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Rusev, Myro, the Bulgarian brute. The guy who gave us one of the most entertaining storylines in modern WWE history with the Rusev Day movement. Where is he? Better question, does WWE even care that he's gone? Because here's what's driving fans absolutely insane right now. WWE had lightning in a bottle with Rusev. The man was getting organic reactions, selling merchandise, and connecting with audiences in a way that most wrestlers dream about. And what did WWE do? They systematically destroyed everything that made him special. Think about it. Rusev Day wasn't a corporate creation. It wasn't some scripted nonsense forced down our throats by a 70-year-old billionaire who's lost touch with what fans actually want. It was genuine. It was real. Fans were chanting for Rusev in arenas across the world, and WWE's response was to feed him to part-timers and book him in humiliating storyline after humiliating storyline. The Lana Bobby Lashley angle? Don't even get me started. That wasn't wrestling. That was a circus act designed to insult everyone's intelligence. Now here's where it gets really messed up. Rusev left WWE and found massive success as Myro in AEW. He became TNT champion. He delivered some of the best promos of his career. He proved every single doubter wrong and showed the world what happens when talented performers are actually given creative freedom. But WWE? They've essentially pretended like Rusev Day never existed. Go look at their highlight reels. Check their throwback posts. It's like they are actively trying to erase a movement that their own fans created. And before you WWE apologists jump in the comments, answer me this: how many more talented superstars need to leave and thrive elsewhere before WWE admits they have a talent utilization problem? But let's shift gears to something that's got everyone talking. The Rock and WrestleMania. Now, I love The Rock as much as the next person. The man is a legend, an icon, and arguably the biggest crossover star wrestling has ever produced. But here's what's got fans divided right now, and trust me, this is controversial. Every single time The Rock comes back for WrestleMania season, someone on the current roster gets pushed aside. Someone who's been grinding, bleeding, and sacrificing their body 52 weeks a year gets told to step back because a Hollywood megastar decided he's got 3 weeks to spare between movie shoots. The latest reports about The Rock's involvement in the upcoming WrestleMania have sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. According to multiple sources, creative plans are being completely rewritten to accommodate the people's champion. Now, I'm not saying The Rock doesn't deserve his spot. The man built WrestleMania moments that we still talk about decades later. But here's the reality that nobody in WWE wants to acknowledge: the current roster is stacked with talent that could headline WrestleMania and deliver instant classic matches if they were given half the promotion and production value that part-timers receive. Let me ask you this, and I really want you to answer in the comments: should part-time legends always get priority over full-time superstars at WrestleMania, or is it time for WWE to fully commit to building new stars? Speaking of controversy, we need to talk about the arrest that's got everyone shocked. A WWE superstar was recently arrested, and the details are still emerging. Now, I'm not going to jump to conclusions or play judge and jury here, because we don't have all the facts yet. What we do know is that this situation is serious, and it raises important questions about WWE's wellness policy and the kind of support system they have in place for their performers. Here's what frustrates me about situations like this. WWE loves to parade around their wellness policy and talk about how much they care about their superstars' well-being. But when something like this happens, where's that support? Where's the infrastructure that's supposed to catch problems before they escalate? These performers are on the road 300 days a year, dealing with injuries, pressure, and personal issues, and sometimes it feels like WWE only cares when it affects their bottom line or public image. The wrestling business has a dark history of ignoring mental health, substance abuse, and the toll that this lifestyle takes on human beings. We've lost too many talented people because the industry failed them. So when news like this breaks, my first thought isn't about punishing the person involved. It's about asking why we keep ending up here and what systematic changes need to happen to prevent the next tragedy. Now let's talk about Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, because this backstage dynamic is absolutely fascinating and could reshape the entire landscape of WWE programming. Reports are circulating that there's been significant tension between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman regarding creative direction and storyline decisions. For those who don't know, Paul Heyman has been one of the most influential creative minds in WWE for years, particularly in his role with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline saga. Seth Rollins, on the other hand, has always been vocal about wanting more creative input in his character and storylines. He's not just a wrestler collecting a paycheck. He's an artist who wants his work to mean something. And when you have two strong personalities with different visions colliding backstage, things get messy real fast. Here's what's really interesting about this situation. Seth Rollins has main event WrestleManias, carried Raw through difficult periods, and consistently delivered high-quality matches and promos. He's earned the right to have a voice in his creative direction, but WWE operates under a very specific power structure, and challenging that structure, even when you're right, can have consequences. What do you think? Should established superstars like Seth Rollins have more creative control over their characters, or should all creative decisions stay with the production team? The broader issue here is that WWE is stuck in this bizarre place where they claim to want to create new stars and push fresh talent, but their actions consistently contradict those words. Look at how they handled Seth's recent storylines. The man is capable of being the top babyface in the entire company, but instead, he's been spinning his wheels in feuds that don't elevate him or his opponents. And this connects directly back to the Rock and WrestleMania situation. When part-timers take the spotlight, full-timers like Seth Rollins get relegated to secondary positions, regardless of how talented they are or how hard they work. It creates this toxic environment where the message to the locker room is clear: no matter how good you are, you'll always be second to the legends of yesterday. But here's where WWE Unreal comes into play, and why I said at the beginning that WWE's recent decisions are absolutely messed up. WWE Unreal, for those who might not be familiar, is WWE's digital content platform that's supposed to showcase behind-the-scenes footage, exclusive content, and give fans deeper access to the WWE universe. Sounds great in theory, right? Wrong. Because what WWE Unreal has become is a dumping ground for wrestlers who should be on television. Talented performers who should be building storylines on Raw or SmackDown are instead relegated to digital-only content that a fraction of the audience actually watches. It's WWE's way of saying, we don't have anything for you on TV, but we still want to pretend we're using you. The really messed up part? Some of the content on WWE Unreal is actually better than what we're getting on weekly television. The wrestlers have more freedom, the matches are more creative, and the storylines feel less scripted. But because it's not on mainstream TV, it doesn't matter. It doesn't build stars. It doesn't create WrestleMania moments. It's just content existing in a void. This brings us back to Rusev and why his departure represents a massive failure on WWE's part. Rusev should have been a main event player. He had the look, the charisma, the in-ring ability, and most importantly, he had the fans behind him. But WWE couldn't figure out how to capitalize on it, so they wasted him until he had no choice but to leave. And that's the pattern we keep seeing over and over again. WWE creates these incredible moments with their talent, the fans respond, and then, nothing. The momentum dies, the storylines fizzle out, the wrestler gets relegated to WWE Unreal or catering, and we're all left wondering what could have been. The Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman situation is just the latest example of creative tension between talent and management. The Rock's WrestleMania involvement is another reminder that WWE prioritizes short-term spectacle over long-term star building. The ERASED shows that WWE support systems for their performers might not be as robust as they claim, and Rusev's absence from WWE programming is proof that even when you do everything right, even when the fans are chanting your name, WWE can still find a way to mess it up. So what's the solution? How does WWE fix this? Honestly, I don't know if they want to, because fixing these problems would require fundamental changes to how they operate, and that seems unlikely when they are making record profits despite all these issues. What I do know is that fans deserve better. The wrestlers deserve better. And until WWE starts prioritizing long-term storytelling, consistent character development, and actually listening to what fans want instead of what they think we should want, we're going to keep having these conversations. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you frustrated with how WWE is handling things right now, or do you think I'm overreacting? Let's have a real conversation about the state of WWE in 2026.